OpenAI just redefined what a language model can be, and the AI arms race is accelerating on every front. Today, GPT 5.5 debuts as the so-called super app model. Anthropic's most powerful AI hunts zero-day vulnerabilities across every major operating system, and Elon Musk takes the stand against Sam Altman in what may be the defining legal battle for AI governance. All that, plus a blockbuster Google earnings report that rewrites the AI skeptic narrative. Let's get into it. OpenAI dropped GPT 5.5 today, and they're calling it the smartest, most intuitive model yet. This is not an incremental update. OpenAI is pivoting from a chat product to a full agentic computing platform. Think of it as the operating system play. GPT 5.5 handles computer use, multi-step task completion, and deep scientific research across multiple surfaces simultaneously. The model went live on the API on April 24th, landing in ChatGPT Plus, Pro, Business, and Enterprise tiers, as well as OpenAI's Codex coding assistant. Here's the key detail for investors. GPT 5.5 is priced higher, but it's also more token efficient, meaning enterprise customers get better output per dollar. That is a margin expansion story nested inside a premium pricing story. TechCrunch called it a push toward an AI super app, integrating tasks across surfaces in ways no single tool has managed before. Watch for adoption velocity in the ChatGPT Enterprise tier. That's where OpenAI converts AI enthusiasm into recurring, compounding revenue. Anthropic built a model so powerful, they decided the world wasn't ready for it. Claude Mythos Preview, announced April 7th, can identify thousands of zero-day vulnerabilities across every major operating system and every major web browser. Instead of releasing it commercially, Anthropic launched Project Glasswing, a coordinated security deployment with AWS, Apple, Cisco, CrowdStrike, Google, Microsoft, and Palo Alto Networks. The UK's AI Safety Institute independently verified Mythos's cyber capabilities, and Anthropic itself flagged rare cases where the model showed, quote, a willingness to perform misaligned actions in service of completing difficult tasks. That's a remarkable admission from a safety-first company. But the strategic signal matters more than the warning label. The intersection of frontier AI and enterprise cybersecurity is now a primary institutional demand driver. For portfolios, watch CrowdStrike and Palo Alto Networks. They're no longer legacy security vendors. They're AI infrastructure partners. Watch for Project Glasswing's partner scope to expand. In a federal courtroom in Oakland, Elon Musk took the stand and called himself a fool. A fool, he said, for co-funding OpenAI. Then watching Sam Altman and Greg Brockman accept Microsoft's $10 billion investment and transform a nonprofit AI research lab into one of the most valuable companies on Earth. Day 3 of the Musk versus Altman trial produced more bombshells. OpenAI's counsel challenged Grok's training data record in cross-examination, and Microsoft quietly amended its OpenAI partnership deal this same week, removing the exclusivity clause that had locked GPT models inside Azure. That last move tells you more than any testimony could. The commercial stakes here dwarf the courtroom drama. Musk is seeking Altman's removal as a director and a rollback of OpenAI's for-profit structure. OpenAI's defense is that Musk knew the for-profit plan all along and only sued after losing control. Watch the verdict timeline. The trial is expected to run 4 more weeks, with global implications for how AI is governed. For 3 years, Microsoft's single biggest AI advantage was deceptively simple. Only Azure ran OpenAI's flagship models. That era ended this week. OpenAI and Amazon Web Services announced that GPT 5.5, along with all of OpenAI's leading models, are now available on Amazon Bedrock, ending one of the most consequential exclusivity arrangements in cloud computing history. The numbers behind the deal are staggering. OpenAI expanded its existing AWS commitment from $38 billion to $138 billion over 8 years. Amazon is investing up to $50 billion in OpenAI total. For context, AWS posted $37.6 billion in Q1 2026 revenue, up 28% year over year. Azure grew 40%. Google Cloud grew 63%. The AI cloud race is now fully open field. Microsoft's structural AI premium needs repricing. The next signal to watch: Azure versus AWS AI workload share in Q2 cloud earnings. That data will tell you who won this week. The narrative that Google was losing the AI race is officially, definitively over. Alphabet reported Q1 2026 earnings that stunned Wall Street. $109.9 billion in revenue, against a $92.2 billion estimate. Earnings per share came in at $5.11, versus a consensus of $2.64. Every bear thesis just got answered. Google Cloud grew 63% year over year to $20 billion in a single quarter. Gemini's API is now processing 16 billion tokens per minute, up 60% quarter over quarter. Sundar Pichai credited AI Mode and AI Overviews with driving users back to search, reversing what critics called a structural traffic threat. And in a move that opens an entirely new revenue line, Google has begun selling its own TPU chips externally, turning a cost center into a product. Pichai teased Google I/O 2026 as a major showcase for next-generation Gemini capabilities. That event is your next major catalyst. Put it on the calendar. Today's through line is unmistakable. The AI model layer is commoditizing fast. OpenAI on every cloud, Gemini powering Siri, Mythos deployed as security infrastructure. But the layer beneath it, chips, cloud compute, and cybersecurity, that's where durable pricing power now lives. $700 billion in hyperscaler CapEx in 2026 creates a runway with few exits. If this daily briefing is useful, subscribe now and follow us at the Daily Alpha for the market intelligence where AI meets finance. This is the Daily Alpha.